Well, it's winter time. When school is in session, we have children, students who end up getting sick, and thank goodness for our school nurses. And one of them is joining us right now. It's Wendy Cummings. She's a school nurse at Cross Schools via Zoom. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I want to ask you, what do you say to parents or to the students themselves as far as trying to keep healthy during the winter months? We're inside more, we're close together. What are the tips that you give them?
So some of your just general common sense tips, washing your hands a lot, not eating and drinking after one another, getting good amount of sleep, hydration, eating well, all of the things that we hope that our students and our families are doing year round, and our teachers as well. Those for sure. During these heightened months, with all of the bugs that go around, we've got flu, we have RSV, of course we have COVID, strep, all of those things you can see throughout the year, but especially during the winter months, COVID and RSV are particular ones that we see a rise in. And
have you seen that? I'm sorry, Wendy, but have you seen that so far this year? Are you seeing an uptick in like RSV or?
Oh, we've had quite a bit of RSV just within our own school, but also within the community.
How is that diagnosed, by the way? Is it some kind of test? I don't even know.
Yeah, it would be something that they have to go to their doctor and have that diagnosis, have an exam done and have that diagnosis placed. You want to catch it early, and sometimes, especially our younger students and older population, have to be hospitalized due to RSV. So it is something that you want to keep an eye out for, and if you have any thoughts of that being a possibility, you want to get them into their pediatrician.
And what do you recommend then if a student is tested positive for RSV or say for the flu or COVID? Is there a certain amount of time you recommend they stay at home and don't come to school?
Well, every school and every entity has its own policies. We are still following DHEC recommendations where for a positive COVID, we ask that they isolate for 5 days at home from the onset of symptoms or a positive test if they aren't having symptoms, and then they can return to school. For flu, usually once you're fever-free for 24 hours, most schools and most entities will allow you to return. We do ask that students be fever-free, vomiting and diarrhea-free for 24 hours without medicine before returning, because we know that with fever and anytime things like that are going on, that the child can be contagious. So we want to keep them at home.
Makes sense to me. Now, if you had one piece of advice that you would feel that would be extremely important to pass on to students about their health or their parents as well, what would that be?
Well, it's one tip, but it encompasses a lot.
Okay.
That is, first and foremost, most of the students that I see come in to, unless they have, a true illness, headaches, stomach aches, things like that, they're dehydrated. By and large, the majority of us, adults alike, stay dehydrated. We need to hydrate with water. It's amazing to me how many kids, if you ask them what they've had to drink today, it's coffee or a soda. They know not to tell me energy drink because they know that's a no-no. But stay hydrated, eat well, get a good amount of sleep. And the biggest tip for parents is we all want our kids to be in school. And my goal is to keep our kids healthy and in school. And my goal is to keep them here once they're here, unless they are not well. So to parents, I would say, if your child has expressed that they're not feeling well, or maybe they're not acting their usual or their norm, rather than pushing them out the door and giving them medication and sending them in hopes that they'll feel better, keep them at home. Make sure they are well. Maybe you keep them at home for an hour or two and they are feeling better, and then bring them into school a little bit late. But if your children are sick, keeping them home so that they don't spread to their peers.
Well, Wendy, I really appreciate it. Wendy Cummings, the school nurse at the Cross School. Some great advice for all of us, and I hope you have a great holiday season. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will be back in just a moment.